Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my May reset for you guys. So another month has come and passed. Honestly, I cannot believe it is May now. Like, where'd the year go? I am really happy though because my summer break starts in very early May. I'm almost done with my second semester of grad school and I could not be more excited. So hopefully I will be able to do a lot of reading in May and just in the coming months as well. So happy times. Happy times. So if you guys have not seen one of my reset videos before, I like to keep it very simple. Basically, I'm just going to be showing you my monthly reading journal setup. I'm going to be talking through the books that I would like to read in May. And I'm also going to do a little bit of updating in my Notion. I don't do this every month, but recently I kind of redid a couple of things on my library page of my Notion that I now have to update every month. So I thought I could show you those. And I'm also really happy with how my Notion is looking right now, so I wanted to share. So those are kind of the three things that I'm going to be doing in this video. So I hope that sounds fun. So first up, I'm going to be doing my reading journal setup, and I cannot wait to get into this because this month I'm doing something that's a little more drawing intensive. I wouldn't say there's like I'm not that artistic, so it's not like super fancy drawing, but the last couple of months I've been doing my spreads using mainly just different sticker sheets, and while I love doing that, it makes it so simple and it makes it very easy to maintain. I decided that this month I wanted to try doing something that did not involve any stickers. So I decided to go for a kind of gothic window situation with a bunch of leaves. I'm gonna put the books that I read this month on the windowsill in the spread. So I already have all of that sketched out, but I'm going to show you me outlining it, coloring it, all that kind of fun stuff. So we are just going to get into doing that, and I will see you guys when I am done. so I've just finished up my reading journal setup and I really like how this one turned out, honestly. I feel like I need to try doing more spreads where I do more drawing in them. It just always takes a lot of prep work for it, but I feel like it's definitely always worth it, so might have to start implementing that a bit more. But with this spread, I was having so much trouble with figuring out what to put in this window, because normally when I do my whole bookshelf spreads, I put a night sky with the moon and stars, but I'm like, I do that every time I do one of those bookshelf spreads because I have many of them. And I wanted to try something different, but I was having so much trouble figuring out what to put in this window. So I finally decided on what I wanted to do, and I put some little clouds in the window. So I like how this looks. It works. Anyway, there's that done. You know, it is now time to talk through all of the books that I would like to read this month, so I'm going to pull those off of my shelves really quickly, and then we will go through them. I think there are quite a lot this month, so we'll see how that goes. So I have selected the books. You can kind of see them sitting there a bit, but we're just gonna chat through them. I think I have nine actual books, and then I have some volumes of manga, which we'll talk about too. So I'm gonna start with the books that I have buddy reads lined up for this month, which I'm so excited about all of them. The first one is obviously for Wyverns and Words. We just recently completed our first series that we're reading, and we are moving on to our second series, which is the Devabad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty, and obviously the first book in that is City of Brass. So I honestly have no clue what this book is about. I'm pretty sure it involves a djinn in some form, but honestly I'm a big fan of going into some books not knowing anything, and I feel like doing that for the book club could be fun. So I'm just gonna leave my ignorance as it is with this book. Then next up is a book that me and Cass are going to be buddy reading, which I don't think we've ever properly buddy read a book together, like just us. Technically we buddy read books together all the time, but that's for Wyverns and Words, so like we're reading them with everybody. But this is just a me and Cass buddy read, and I cannot wait because I think it's gonna be so fun. And we are going to be reading A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the first book in a new series. I'm pretty sure this came out rather recently, and it's a Norse-inspired fantasy romance type of situation, and it sounds just like a really good time. Although on my last vlog where I was like just showing you guys that I got a copy of this, one of you told me that it was very insta-love, which worries me a bit. But also, thank you so much for telling me, because now that I know my expectations have been adjusted, and I think it'll be better this way now that I know. So thank you for the information. I really appreciate that. But I still cannot wait to get into this one. Been seeing a lot of people really loving this recently, and I also really like The Bridge Kingdom by this author, so I feel like I'll probably enjoy this. And then my last buddy read I'm doing with my friend Mackenzie. We've been trying to buddy read a book together for quite a while, and it hasn't happened. But I think this month I can feel it. It's gonna happen this month. And I'm going to be picking up Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranak. I was gonna read this last month. Shockingly enough, I didn't do that. So I think this is also gonna be really fun to buddy read. This is a YA fantasy. I've heard a lot of people compare this to Howl's Moving Castle, which I think a lot of people compare a lot of books to Howl's Moving Castle, so I want to see if the girlies are right. Like, I have to know. But I believe our main character goes into this creepy forest and she makes a deal with a demon in some capacity. So that sounds really fun. I've heard a lot of really good things from the people that I've seen read this, and I can't wait to get into it. Also, just the cover is gorgeous. Like, look at this. I love the back of it. It just looks like something that I would really like, so I can't wait to get into this. And then the next 3 books that I'm going to be talking about are for my Patreon readathon that I'm doing this month. I decided to do a little natural history themed readathon this time around. I made a whole little bingo board for it. You could join the Patreon if you want to come participate in the readathon, because I think it's gonna be so fun. We're gonna do sprints. It's gonna be just great, hopefully. But obviously I want to get a bingo on my bingo board, so I needed 3 books that I'm going to hopefully be finishing in this readathon. The first prompt for the road that I want to complete is to read a book featuring Fae, so I figured what a better time to finally pick up The Witch Would Not by Olivia Atwater. I've had this book since last November, and I've been wanting to pick it up ever since I got it, because this is the first book in Olivia Atwater's Victorian fairy tales series, which obviously is like screaming my name. I need to pick this book up, and I cannot wait. I think this is following a young governess There's a dude with a tail in it, I think, which doesn't excite me, but I think the rest of it will be good. Then the next prompt is that row to read a book featuring romance. As you can see, the prompts are pretty broad here. But this one is actually a book that I'm not exactly sure if it features romance or not, but I know one of the last 2 books in this series has to have a romance because it's been alluded to earlier in the books, and that is In the Labyrinth of Drakes by Marie Brennan. I know, I've put this on so many TBRs and I still haven't read it. This month. I can feel it, guys. I can feel it. This is the month. But this book is written kind of from the point of view of our main character Isabella later in her life, and she's like recounting adventures that she went on earlier. And if I'm remembering correctly, she has alluded to like another romance that happened in her life, and there are only 2 books left in the series, so I'm like, I think it's gonna happen in one of them. I'm just gonna hope it happens in this one, and if it doesn't, I'm probably gonna count it anyway, so. But like, don't tell anybody that I'm gonna do that. But this is the 4th book in the Lady Trent series. I'm not gonna talk about it again, I'm so sorry. And then the last prompt in that row is to read a book set in spring. Literally any book that even remotely takes place in spring will work. Like if any part of the book is set in spring, that's good enough for me. So I am probably going to be picking up Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. This kind of seems like the perfect book to pick up for like a springy kind of readathon, you know? Honestly, I'm not gonna tell you that I'll 100% read this book because who actually believes that? Nobody. I know you don't believe that. Don't even try and say you do. One day, I'll read this book. Maybe it'll be this month. So those are all of the books that I really want to / have to read, but I'm still excited about all of them. The rest of these are just like random picks that I would like to pick up this month. The first couple being some books from Brandon Sanderson. Obviously, first of all, I have Arcanum Unbounded. I have read a decent majority of this book, but there are just a couple of stories that I have not yet gotten to. I'm not gonna commit to completely finishing all of these stories, but I would like to read all of the Mistborn stories that I haven't read yet because that does take up like a decent chunk of this book. So, if you wanna know, these are the ones that I'm gonna read. All of those, hopefully. We'll see. And then I also do want to read The Lost Metal. This is book 4 in Mistborn Era 2. I'm so excited about it. I won't talk about it again because I've been talking about Era 2 constantly recently, so I won't get back into it. And then finally, for the books that I have physically, I do want to read maybe 3 volumes of Witch Hat Atelier. I have volumes 2 through 4 here. I'm wanting to make some decent progress in this manga series. I started it in April, loved the first volume, so I'm really wanting to continue it. So maybe I'll throw one of these onto my readathon TBR just for funsies. I don't know, but it seems like it could be a good idea. And then I do have 2 books that I want to finish that I don't currently have copies of. The first one being The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I have not read a book by John Gwynne before, but he has been on my radar for quite a while, and I've been wanting to try something. And The Shadow of the Gods is Cass's Patreon buddy read for May. So I figured, what a better time to get into some of his work. So I'm currently just waiting on my hold for this to come in from the library. I would assume it's gonna come in May? We'll see. And then the last book that I'm hoping to pick up is another Discworld book. I'm thinking I might be able to read 2 Discworld books in May, but I'm only gonna commit to the one for now. And that is going to be Witches Abroad by Terry Pratchett. I just need to go, again, get a copy of this book. I've been thoroughly enjoying the couple of Discworld books that I've read so far, and I want to read at least one more. I might read another one, like I might try out a different sub-series, but for now I'm just gonna stick with the witches because I love the witches. So, but now that we have gone through all of them, I'm going to go put some of these on my TBR shelf, which is like right there. It's just a nice way to keep them in my sight so I actually remember to read them. So let's go do that. Okay, so the TBR shelf has been done, I guess. Anyway, it is now time for me to update my Notion a bit. I did recently do a whole revamp of my library / physical books owned spread. So I thought I could just show you me updating that a little bit at the end here. I used to do Notion updating segments like in every reset that I did, but I ended up not really liking that. I'm not gonna like reinstate that because I still don't really like doing that, but I'm excited to show you guys my new Notion setup for that one page. So I'm gonna get into doing that, and then we will be at the end of the video. Okay, so we have officially arrived at the end of the video. I've done everything that I wanted. Oh, I'm being blinded right now. Hang on. What was I saying? End of the video. We're here. So I really hope you guys enjoyed going through this reset with me. I really enjoy doing these resets. I think they're fun. They're just a good way to kind of check in with you guys at the beginning of the month, show you my reading journal setup, show you some books I'm gonna read. It's always a good time. So obviously I would love to know down below maybe what some of the things you guys do to reset for the new month are, or if you don't reset, maybe just tell me how you're doing. What's going on with you? I'd like to know. Also, before I go, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you are ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.